All right, what up, you guys? Welcome to the channel. If you're new, don't be. Go ahead and click that subscribe button to be a part of the Witness gang, to join the Witness Nation. Now let's get into this, shall we? Hello, you guys, and welcome to the channel. If you're new, don't be. I'm Whitney. Keep it cute, get the boot. All right. This platform discusses any and all information that has been made known to the public in any way. I am not a journalist, I'm a commentator. The views and the opinions expressed in this video and on Whitney D's YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect the opinions of Whitney D and Whitney D's YouTube channel. Now, all topics are for entertainment purposes only. Comedy, satire, TV rated mature. Viewers' discretion is advised. Again, our commentary is alleged but very real. All right, you guys, welcome back. Okay. Now, I came to you guys the other day just to kind of report and let you guys know the update in regards to the state charges. I did not come out of nowhere with the update. I've been giving you guys an update in between my feelings about not no longer really reporting about R. Kelly child, because it's just all over the place. However, I just have been just sticking it to you and bouncing up out of there, right? So this was no differently. We heard the other day that it was a potential chance for Kimberly Fox, the state attorney, to drop the remaining charges of the state charges for R. Kelly. So I brought you guys that update. In doing so, and I'm just doing this to get everybody caught up and abreast to what we're about to go into on today. We hear that she potentially did drop the charges. It was not because, oh, he wasn't guilty or anything like that. It was specifically because he has other charges that were brought up. And so it was just like a overkill, if you will. This is what she had to say, and then we're going to come back and hear what one of the victims had to say in regards to the response to the drop charges.
State's Attorney, do you think this sends the right message in a case like this?
Mr. Kelly is potentially looking at the possibility of never walking out of prison again for the crimes that he's committed. This office, in the pursuit of justice for the victims in our indictment as well as those across the country, worked tirelessly to get us to this point. While today's cases are no longer being pursued, we believe that justice has been served and the sentences that have already been handed down to Mr. Kelly, as well as the sentence that will come down next month. The message that we are sending, that I want to be unequivocally clear, is that we take allegations of sexual abuse and sexual assault seriously. We will work tirelessly to bring justice, and we believe that in this case, justice has been.
She goes on to say in this case, she believes justice was served. And so, to be honest with you, on yesterday, before hearing from, a victim, I had agreed with her. I was like, yes, justice has been served. Like, come on now. It's kind of like an overkill at this point. Like, unlike I said on yesterday, and I had a commenter coming in trying to tell me what I know and what I don't know. First of all, let me make this very clear for the people in the back that's in the trees, in the bushes, that's in the rivers and the streams. You don't know what I've seen. Okay. You don't know what I've seen. You don't know what I've heard specifically. Let's be very clear. Okay. I am connected to some of the victims. I am still connected to a lot of the parents. Okay. Let's make that very clear. And none of y'all going to punk me or shake me for being in relationship with anybody anyways. So don't make this seem like this is a surface thing. I'm just a blogger reporting, baby. I'm very well connected and I've seen stuff with my own eyes. So I know the man is guilty. So miss me with that. Okay. But anyways, I concur. I agreed with Kimberly Fox when she said that, justice had been served because, like I'm saying, it's an overkill. And I've said this before on past recordings and videos that Why everybody's trying to worry about these victims and stuff like that, trying to get money from this man. Y'all need to be worrying about these attorneys, i.e. Bone Jangles and the ladder, because it's like, why are you guys steady putting this man on trial, using his money that he really don't have, using the taxpaying dollars that we really don't have to take him to court, to have him in court to just be found guilty. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is ridiculous. It's redundant. You know what I'm saying? Not on the contrary, do we want his charges to be dropped, but like, you know, you guilty, bruh. Go ahead and get your time and go and sit down somewhere, right? So, you know, I didn't really find this to be alarming, but I didn't take it under consideration the women that were involved that pleaded their cases that not necessarily were on the federal case. You know what I'm saying? Prime example, which brings me to this particular victim. Many of you guys may or may not remember this particular victim, but she actually was on the Surviving R. Kelly series. Okay, both 1, 2, and 3, or actually, I think it's both 1 and 3, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think she was on the second one, but I concur. Um, she was one of the victims, and she spoke out, and it kind of made me change. Well, I would say it did. It made me change my perspective of this case not being heard. I'm gonna get into the article, and as I'm reading the article, I will give you my commentary in regards to it. Now, again, this is reported by Chicago Tribune. I'm pretty much big on getting information from them because they're there. It's kind of like the New York Times before Chicago. You know what I'm saying? So goes on to say Lanita Carter first told police and prosecutors 2 decades ago that R. Kelly sexually abused her. No charges were filed. She tried to move on. She said she raised her children. She found a stable career, but Kelly's music followed her. So that was interesting enough. And I think we did hear on the series that, you know, she did come out. So for all you Looney Tunes that act as if all cases are alike, you know what I'm saying? Oh, the parents and all this stuff, every case ain't alike. And that's why it irritates me that everybody still stays stuck on one set of family, one set of victims. It's a lot of victims, people. Prime example, this one. And she went and told the police. She told the police and prosecutors, okay, 2 decades ago when everything was initially happening. But nobody wants to talk about that and highlight that. She told somebody. All right. Well, let's continue. Every wedding I went to, every graduation I went to, every party, Carter told the Tribune, when her son's kindergarten class learned to sing Kelly's smash hit, I Believe I Can Fly, she had to help him rehearse. Carter thought justice was finally catching up with Kelly in 2019 when the docuseries Surviving R. Kelly resurrected interest. Sorry, y'all, baby. I'm far away from my camera. I mean, my laptop. Resurrected interest in the singer's alleged misdeeds. And Cook County State's Attorney Kim Fox put out a request for his accusers to come forward. Carter answered the call. And this time, prosecutors brought charges filing indictments in her case, as well as for the alleged accused of 3 others. Quote, I put a lot of hope into them that I would see justice one day, and it was so important to me that I did, Carter said. Goes on to say that hope was lost Tuesday when prosecutors formally dropped all charges against Kelly. Fox made the announcement at a news conference Monday, saying the office chose to devote their limited resources to other sexual abuse charge cases, given that Kelly is already facing decades in prison on federal convictions. Carter said she was devastated. Quote, my case matters. Carter said in a lengthy interview Monday evening at her attorney's office in downtown Chicago, quote, when they told me that I didn't have a case in 2003, I said, okay, and I tried to keep on going. Now I come forward again after you called me to come forward, And now you're saying it again? Kelly has repeatedly denied accusations of wrongdoing against Carter and the other women in the Cook County cases. Jennifer Bongine, one of Kelly's attorneys, said Tuesday that she understands Carter's concerns, but, quote, I don't know that taking the stand and being subject to cross-examination is how you're going to get relief from whatever pain you're experiencing. I don't understand it. Bajine, of course you don't understand, child. And I wanted to tap in on this, and people are going around acting as if this is some kind of win. It's not, y'all. I don't understand that people comprehend the validity of what is going on. But let me be your huckleberry. All right, this means nothing for R. Kelly. Y'all do know he's facing 10 to 90 years in prison. Sorry, y'all, because I was telling y'all I've been under the weather. But you do know he's going to face anywhere from 10 to 90 years in this next sentencing. And on the contrary, Lenny Weber is no holds bar. And he's already got 30 years for New York. And on the contrary, you guys want to keep putting out this appeal and stuff like that. That takes time and resources. And it's very rare, right? For one. And for two, this means nothing. Just means that for the state charges, he does not have to go to court for. But he has federal time that he has to do, right? So this is not a win. He's not coming home. I don't know why you guys are putting that narrative out there. He is going to stay where he's at for whatever length of time, even if he doesn't get a substantial amount of time for Illinois. He has 30 years. Your boy is in his, 50s, 60s? I'm going to leave that right there. Okay. Now, the article goes on to say, quote, if she wants justice for Mr. Kelly, he's in prison. He's been sentenced to 30 years, Bongine said. Exactly my point. But I do get it. She wants to finally kind of have a sense of closure, if I would think about it anyway. I feel as though Cara is like, I said something initially and I couldn't speak out and say anything about my story. And then, you call and I answer the call and I still don't get any justice or closure. And, in regards to it. So I get it. I get it. She feels as though that the sentencing was reflective upon those women that told their stories in a court of law. And so she just wanted to be able to see that day. I totally get that and I understand that. Fox at her news conference was careful to note that dropping charges does not mean prosecutors disbelieve any of the allegations, which I do remember her saying that. And, I will have to agree. They did not believe him. That's why they continue to pursue the case, Kelly was sentenced in June to 30 years in prison on a federal racketeering case in New York. He faces at least 10 years at sentencing February 23rd, which I just broke that down to you guys. Anywhere from 10 to 90 years in prison. Even if he gets another 30 years, you guys, that's 60 years in prison. Like, real talk. He is going to, and I'm sorry to hurt you guys' feelings out there because the man is older. Okay. He's old. He's going to die in there. Okay. And is this a joke? Is this funny? Do I feel like, no? It saddens me to have such a talent be waste like that. But at the end of the day, this man continued to do his deeds over 30 years. And it's funny how people cry out about him, but they don't worry about his victims. Everyone was in line on this man. Everyone was not setting this man up. This woman was trying to braid his daggone hair. Okay. You have other young ladies who was just trying to, sing and dance behind this fool. Okay. So, anyways, sorry, y'all. That's my husband in the background playing his game. He faced, okay, I read that part. In Chicago's federal courthouse on charges related to child no, and sexual misconduct with minors. But that reality is cold comfort for Carter, who said Fox's decision brought up a swirl of emotions. I bet, quote, I've still got to be positive, but I can't help but say this is some bull. This is terrible for me, she said. Quote, I'm upset, but I still have to find the silver lining and I've still got to heal. At the end of the day, I've got to be able to walk away, but it didn't not feel good. I pleaded with them. Carter first got word back in November that the case would be dismissed. That's interesting. I do believe that this is when the rumors were swirling about the potential dismissal. And I remember it was like a feel of it going across the internet about everybody, on the other side, just excited, thinking that, oh, he's coming home. This is about to get dismissed. And if I'm not mistaken, even TK said something about it on her channel. But on the contrary, what she was saying, I think she got it mixed up. She was saying that the federal stuff, it was no evidence and all this stuff like that. And see, that's why I be saying, like, I hate when people mix a little bit truth with lies, because then that makes you kind of you have to literally throw out the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, which one is what, what I'm saying? And then it sucks even more so when you know the truth, but it's just being paraded as a lie because you done mixed it up with a lie. You know what I'm saying? So no, none of the federal charges have been dropped, y'all. This is just state charges, okay? And it was not dismissed because of inadequate evidence, or like she said, they believe they did the investigation and things like that, but with the limited resources, for one, because there's so many other cases out there with women that are going through this, that are going through this now. You know what I'm saying? On top of just knowing that he's already been charged, they just kind of like, okay, we don't want to beat a dead horse, which I totally get it. I absolutely totally get it. If it was up to me, I would have did the state first and then would have went to the federal. But I am happy that they did federal first, because federal is much more massive than a state charge. But let's go on. I pleaded with them, Carter said. In response, she said prosecutors said they would consider her request and let her know. Carter's attorneys soon after sent the lead assistant state's attorney on the case a long letter asking them to keep the case alive. But last week, on a video call with prosecutors, Carter knew before anyone said a word that it would be that it would be bad news for her. She saw the attorneys persuade lips, the folded hands, and this time Fox wasn't on the call. Carter said, quote, when I didn't see her on the Zoom, I already knew in my heart what the day was. She said, I just kept telling myself, I'm not about to cry. I'm not about to cry. I'm tired of crying. And then I think I just broke down. It's like being heartbroken twice by the same person. Carter said prosecutors gave her an explanation similar to those Fox gave at Monday's press conference. They believe her allegations, but given the near certainty Kelly will spend decades in prison, they are choosing to spend their resources on other cases. Carter did not find them persuasive, she said. Kelly's federal sentence isn't much comfort when convictions can be overturned and appeals granted, and her case should matter just as much as those of other victims, she said. And that's what, when I heard this article, that's what stood out to me. And I was like, dang, I think I kind of missed it myself. Yeah, I understand that. I get it, and I kind of feel like, well, girl, what I'm saying? Look at all this time that he's getting it, but that's them. You know what I'm saying? Basically, that's their win. That's their victory. That's their justice. But it does kind of make it seem like the sense of a slap in the face, like, but what about me? You know what I'm saying? So that kind of really sucks. And I didn't, like I said, I didn't think about it like that. I just kind of was like, come on, girl, like, but I do understand how she can feel a bit slighted, you know? Quote, if you believe me, then you fight for me. If you believe me, you advocate for me, she said. If it's about resources, then what about the resources wasted because you didn't bring it forward? That is a good one. That's a good one. Let me go ahead and put myself off the screen. Carter first met R. Kelly during a time when, in her own words, she didn't have much going for her. She's had her first baby as a teenager and didn't have much education. She said she could really do hair though. After a member of Kelly's entourage introduced her to the singer, Carter started doing his hair regularly, and it turned her life around. She said she hadn't even been a fan of his music. She preferred rap and R&B, but once she started working with him, people treated her differently. Her whole outlook changed. Quote, it was like my life had started again. End quote, Carter said. Quote, like, wow, like the sun looks brighter, end quote. When Kelly was charged with child P in 2002, a case he was eventually acquitted of, Carter defended him to friends and bystanders who called him guilty and asked her pastor to pray for him. So, wow, you know what I'm saying? And I think we do, but we heard this in the docuseries, but I don't know if anybody is really pulling that little note out. She defended him. She defended Carter. She believed the lies. She believed him to be innocent. She believed that, you know what I'm saying? Again, these people are lying on this man and they don't know him. I'm close to him. I braid his hair. I know him. I know this is not true what they're saying about this man. And then on the contrary, she has her own experience with him, unfortunately. I talked to him and he said everybody was lying on him, she said. And I legit believed him. He was real charismatic. I guess you just never really should put your guard down. Kelly was out on bond for the child P charges in 2003 when prosecutors alleged 24-year-old Carter came to braid his hair. He greeted her with his pants down and tried to force oral sex on her. Prosecutors said, quote, he spit on me. He ejaculated in my face, Carter told the Tribune, and quote, I left there and I went to the police, and from then on, it was just a problem after a problem after a problem. So again, okay, I wanted to highlight this. Immediately, she went to the police. It was not no hesitation. It wasn't a time between it. She didn't contemplate. She didn't think about it. Years didn't go by. She didn't get in her older years. No, the same day, the same duration of time, she went to the police. Was no setup. Was no her mama, daddy, sister, brother, aunt, uncle. This woman went through this. And she told the police. Carter says she cooperated with the police the whole way through. She took a lie detector test, testified before a grand jury. She handed over a shirt that prosecutors would allege years later had Kelly's DNA on it. But at the time, nobody brought charges. So she had the same similar situation as Geronda. If you think about it, you know what I'm saying? I never got the questions answered on why nobody took the case forward, she said. The lack of answers haunted her. Maybe they didn't take her seriously because her teeth weren't fixed. Wow. And she probably was thinking like, he couldn't mess with somebody like you. And on the contrary, that's what I really think a lot of cases with when it comes to a lot of these victims. You know what I'm saying? You look at them and you probably look like, oh no, he couldn't be with somebody like her. He wouldn't. Why wouldn't he? No shade, but men, period, sleep with anything. Okay? Sleep with literally anything that has a hole in it. Okay? And then if you have some devilish, deviant behavior, and not to say she's a beautiful woman to me, but even on the contrary, even with the likes of these beautiful women that he were messing around with, oh, they are fast, they're hot, they wanted to look at them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can't win. At the end of the day, this man is wrong, period. Regardless how they look. She thought or her dress was too tight. Maybe it was because she was black, she thought, or because she was rich and she was living in subsidized housing. When it became clear her case wouldn't move forward, she said people started to encourage her to take whatever money she could, and she listened. Carter reportedly received six-figure settlements from Kelly in the years after her 2003 allegations. Still, for all those years after the charges were rejected, she said, I thought I didn't matter in that world. Speak your truth. It changed in 2019 after Fox made a public plea for Kelly's accusers to come forward in the wake of the hit documentary Surviving R. Kelly. Carter, as well as Fox, later would make appearances in sequels to the documentary. I thought so. Carter didn't think prosecutors would bring charges in her case, but maybe if she told them her story, she would. She said it could show a pattern and support other accusers, so she made the call. A month later, she heard back from the prosecutor's office and let them know about the shirt and the other evidence from her case that emerged back in 2003. They unearthed it from wherever it had been sitting for nearly 2 decades. Wow. Quote, they just kept saying, we're sorry, we're going to make this right, Carter said. I started crying so hard. Since then, she said she has taken pains not to do anything that would derail the case. She worked multiple jobs so she couldn't be accused at trial of airing accusations to try to get rich, she said, and she prepared herself to take the witness stand. Quote, it kind of made things go full circle like, man, I'm a nurse now. I'm stronger now, Carter said. It was like maybe God was planning all this. Maybe like this all means something now. And I had put my hopes into that. Carter said that while she, quote, didn't plan on being disappointed twice, end quote, she's since gotten counseling and has tried to focus on forgiveness and self-care. She's still grateful that she came forward and feels firmly that survivors of sexual violence shouldn't be hesitant to go to authorities. Quote, speak your truth. Don't hide it. Go to the police right away, end quote, she said. And hopefully justice looks different for them because Fox says she had resources for them now that she's not going to use on my case. Oh, ouch. Wee, she is not playing, okay? She is upset, and I would say rightfully so. So that, you guys, you heard from, oh my gosh, that, I'm still trying to Baby, she served it to him. But you guys heard from Lanita Carter in regards to her response about state's attorney Kimberly Fox basically kind of like, saying, dropping her case in regards to R. Kelly. Um, like I said initially, hearing this, I was one of them was like, you know what, just hey, what I'm saying? Like, I get it, let's move forward. He's already been charged. He's finna be sentenced twice over now in the coming weeks. Like, let's move on. But I get it. I get it now. I absolutely get it now. Like, what I'm saying? That it's just like, for example, using myself, I have, my own victims. I mean, not victims, victimizers, if you will. Say, for instance, that I come out and I start naming names, I start putting stuff on paper, chat, I start really holding people accountable. And then after I done spoke up, got all this heat from the world, from people around me, which, frankly, my dear, I wouldn't give a damn. But I started, I'm saying, going through all this, reliving all these situations or whatever. And nothing happens. It's like kind of like you get the feel of, what did I come out for anyway? You know what I'm saying? Like, what did I go through all this scrutiny for anyway? But Lanita, I'm proud of you. If you ask me, I commend you, because it takes courage to, to go directly, right away, to tell, on a person, especially of that validity, I'm saying. I appreciate you, because your story is very unique. Your story is different from a lot of the stories that we've heard involving young girls. And I think the thing is that people miss it. They don't understand how this is one of the points that I was talking about. I don't care too much about the parents like that, because it's like a lot of these cases, a lot of these situations had nothing to do with children, but had everything to do with the abuse of adult individuals. And I guess I don't think people understand that. You have a Lanita, you have a Faith, what I'm saying, and the other young ladies who came in as grown women to just, either help this man or to be involved in this involved with this man in some kind of magnitude. You don't have a right to abuse anybody, sexually or just physically. You keep your hands, you keep your body parts and stuff to yourself unless it's consensual. And I don't think that this was a consensual situation whatsoever, what I'm saying, or none of the other cases that I've heard, and we hear that this is kind of, how the buck crumbles in the likes of Hollywood. What I'm saying? We hear like this is basically what transpires. Like, they feel like they can do and say anything, because of the power that they potentially hold, being who they are. And on the contrary, you don't have power to be able to do people like that. Like, what I'm saying, the unificated goal of it all is just sick and just sad. And it's unfortunate that Lanita did not get the justice that she deserves in lieu of her case. I really do hope that somehow, some way, shape, or form, she's able to get that in the likes of possibly, taking it to civil court. You know what I'm saying? And on the contrary, it really kind of sucks for her to do that, because then people will be screaming out she's after money or whatever the case may be. But it's kind of like, but not for nothing, you guys. Like I said, this really happens in Hollywood. I have been covering the case when it comes to Steven Tyler of Aerosmith and his misdeeds that he's been doing in the industry. He actually had a whole 16-year-old baby mama. okay? That I, in lieu of reading the transcripts and the testimonies, feel like he was potentially trying to, unalive her, delete her, okay? It sounds like a complete setup. If you're not caught up, please go look at part 1 of this of these videos that I've been covering. Like I said, I didn't start with R. Kelly, and is definitely not going to stop with him. Part 2, we're going to read the transcript on tonight. We're actually going to hear the charges that are being brought on by Julie. Okay, and this is Julie, her now. I think she probably look a little bit different than that now, but this is Julie, and she's the one in this picture, the 16-year-old that got pregnant by the likes of this man. So we're going to be hearing her story a little bit more, and the charges that they're potentially going to be bringing on for Steven Tyler as well. So like I said, the buck didn't start with R. Kelly, and it dang sure doesn't stop. But, it's unfortunate, and I hope that some kind of form of justice is brought for Lanita, because she deserves it. Lanita, if this ever reaches you, I would love to speak with you. I would love to hear your story. But not for nothing, you guys, that is it. That is the video. Now it's your turn. I want to hear from you. Tell me what you think down in the comments below. While you're there, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. And I'll see you on the next video. Until then, you guys have a blessed day. Welcome, everybody. I'm Whitney D of WhitneyDTV and the producer of When Time Stopped. And I am here to let you guys know that we are casting for When Time Stopped 2, a docuseries on childhood sexual abuse. Now, myself, along with 3 other individuals, told our stories, but we want to hear from you. Now, are you ready to tell your story? Are you a survivor, or are you a parent? We would like to hear from you. Here's how you can submit. When Time Stopped 2, now casting. Seeking female and male adults ready to share their story of sexual abuse, or parents of a child or children that have suffered from sexual abuse, and you are ready to speak about your journey. Email your story and contact information to WhitneyDavisPlanning@gmail.com. What up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. If you're new, don't be. And I mean that. Don't be. Go ahead and click that subscribe button to be a part of Witness Gang, to join the Witness Nation. Now, I am here to let you guys know we are now accepting members. Let me stop stunning. We've been accepting members, but I'm here to tell you more information about the memberships, okay? It's just better here. Why not become a member and support your girl on a month-to-month basis, okay? Now, we have 4 different tiers that you can choose from. They'll probably be somewhere over here, okay? Not for nothing, we have Out of the Bushes for $1.99 a month, okay? And then you can become a Witness member. $3.99 a month. You can't beat that, okay? Now, if you want to take it up a notch and become a Witness gang member, just $9.99 a month, okay? Now, I see you. You want to go even further. That's great, okay? Become a Witness Nation member at $19.99. Okay, now all these proceeds go back into the channel, okay? I pride myself on doing due diligence to give you guys best quality product and content, okay? So if you love what you see here on WhitneyDTV and you want to keep it going, make sure you become a member, like right now. Like today, like go do it now, okay? Comes with a lot of different perks, like members only chats and member only videos, and getting updates and exclusive information before anybody does, okay? So what are you waiting for? Go become a member like now. Like right now. Duh. Bye.